an issue that there's little debate, and that is that we've got an energy problem in this country. How do we continue to power the factories and the plants and the office buildings, hospitals, homes and cars? How do we continue to use energy? Where do we get that energy from, and at what cost? There's not a lot of debate these days that we are in fact too dependent on imported foreign oil and natural gas, that is a national security issue that I suspect the folks at the Pentagon chew on every single day. It is an issue for factory owners and businessmen all over and women all over this country as they look at ways to reduce their energy usage, as they look at ways to reduce their costs, their input costs on the products that they're trying to manufacture and sell to others. It's an issue to every family in this country as they decide how to pay for gasoline for their automobiles or home heating oil and natural gas to heat their homes or electricity to heat their homes. Energy should have a central front in our debate, in our actions, particularly in this body. Mr. Speaker, there's a story about a fellow who went to visit a neighbor, and he got there, and the neighbor's on the front porch, and so they're sitting there visiting about things, and the neighbor's dog is in the front yard, and the dog is just howling to beat the bed. He's making all kinds of racket. He's just howling. So finally the visitor says to the owner of the house, he said, "What is the matter with your dog?" And the owner looks out there and he said, "Well, he's sitting on a cactus." And the visitor said, "Well, why doesn't he get up and get off the cactus?" And the neighbor says, "Well, I guess he'd just rather howl." Well, we're doing a lot of howling in this country today about energy. And rather than get up and get off the cactus and do some things about it, we continue to just howl and gripe about the price and gripe about the cost and gripe about the solutions, and are unwilling to focus and study on this issue that is of terrific importance to every household, every business, every governmental entity, because they buy fuel as well, they buy electricity, they buy power. Let me give you a couple of statistics. Crude oil, the crude oil contract, the December contract, the good news is it fell for the fourth time in 5 days, closed at $91.17 a barrel. But the bad news is it's closed above $80 a barrel for the 40th time in 44 days, 22 consecutive days above 85, and 14 time ever above $90 a barrel. This will ultimately translate into much higher gasoline prices. Let's talk about home heating oil, which is of great concern to my colleagues in the Northeast. Home heating oil contract in December did fall for the fifth time in 15 days, down 8 cents, to close at $2.50 a gallon. However, home heating oil is closed above $2 a gallon for the 53rd consecutive day. Home heating oil prices are above year-ago prices for the 57th consecutive day, up almost 81 cents. This does not bode well for this year's coming winter. We can all hope and pray for a mild winter, but that doesn't make for very good public policy. We ought to be doing some things today. We should have been doing things yesterday, and tomorrow is open to us to do some things. I don't hold out a lot of hope for tomorrow, but maybe a few days from now, the colleagues and I on both sides of the aisle can come to some rational conclusions about how do we power plants, how do we heat homes and hospitals, how do we drive our cars and on what fuels, what costs are we going to live with as we transition from carbon-based fuels to some other based fuels. That has to be a part of the equation. We simply cannot just immediately wean ourselves off of crude oil and natural gas, because the replacement for that product is not in hand, nor is it in hand for the foreseeable future. Later on this evening, we'll talk about some reports that have recently been issued by some groups who should get some respect from us, that the makeup of the energy usage in America 25 years from now, carbon-based products of crude oil, natural gas, and coal will make up about the same percentage of that total demand that it does today. These projections are done by reputable people, and ones that we should look at in terms of relying on those as we begin to craft public policy. So with that, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to yield to my good colleague from Illinois, John Shimkus, a member of the Energy and Commerce Committee, for some comments that he may have.
I thank my colleague, and it's great